So, like you said, I'm the Baker Fellow in Representative Government. I worked in the office of Senator Charles Grassley. He's our senior senator from Iowa in Washington, D.C. So, a little bit about him. He is Iowa's senior senator. He has, served since 1981. He has not missed a vote since 1994. It's one of a real point of pride for him, and that was because of Iowa's flooding. He is the primary congressional contact for whistleblowers. It's really what he's known for. He's called the champion to whistleblowers. He works a lot with oversight, and he serves more than 3 million constituents. So, location. I worked in DC on the Hill. I spent a lot of time in the Capitol itself, both in his hideaway and giving tours, but primarily I worked in Hart Senate Office Building, which is connected by tunnels. So, the scope of my fellowship. What did I do? I worked closely with LA's legislative assistants and legislative correspondents to accomplish projects in their fields of expertise, anywhere from healthcare to immigration to ag and trade to transportation, anything. If it's a hot topic right now, we discussed it. I probably helped work on it. We responded to constituent letters. I did that. We're actually one of a few offices that responds to 100% of constituent communications. It's another point of pride of our office. If you call or write Senator Grassley, you will get something back. I gave a lot of tours, a lot of tours in the Capitol. And I worked on constituent claims. That's where a constituent calls us and they've got a problem. They've got something that they want fixed or something that they're not happy with our government. And they call us and say, how can you help us make this better? How can you improve our lives? And we did the best that we could to do that. I also assisted our lead investigator, Charlie Murphy, who handles most whistleblower contacts. And with that, we met with whistleblowers, looked over reports, decided if they were legitimate, if they had a real claim, or if the person was just upset about one thing or another and wanted to get back at their boss, which unfortunately happens more than we care to admit. And also, speaking about whistleblowing, that's what I did my personal project on. I went much deeper into that and worked heavily with Charlie Murphy. So, briefings. I went to a ton of them, more than I care to admit. It was kind of hectic. It's a big part of being an intern and being in the lower echelons of that field. Lots of briefings. So, what did I learn? Professionally, what a career in politics really entails. I've worked on a campaign before and saw that side of politics, but if you're really going into politics and this is what you want to do, you're going to be on the Hill. And it's nice to see what it would really be like post-grad if this is what I choose to do. And I learned about how congressional offices interact with each other and the constituents. Our media portrays that we don't go across the aisle too much to work, but in fact we do. All those guys are really good friends. And effective dealings with constituents. A lot of times when they call us, they weren't in the best mood. If they're contacting their senator about a problem they weren't happy about, they're stressed out. And it's important, and no matter what the situation, what I had on my plate, to be courteous, kind, and just show compassion to them. Personally, how to work in a high-stress environment and managing several projects at once. We always had more than one thing going on. I usually had 2 to 3 projects at any given time that I would be working on with usually several different people and several different time schedules. And it was a very high-stress environment. We can't make mistakes. From a political standpoint, we simply, mistakes are not allowed. So, the impacts of the internship continued. The academic impact, excuse me. I got to experience what I've been studying firsthand for all this time. It was really cool to see the political process, how all that worked, just up close. And it really helped me decide what I want to do if I want to go into politics. For me, it's healthcare. Healthcare fascinates me. I love the health lobby. I love that aspect of it. I loved working with Rodney, our healthcare LA. I had an absolute blast with him. And it gave me a great opportunity to study whistleblowing, something that's becoming a larger issue in our government and will likely emerge more in the future. It's a big deal, government oversight particularly, and keeping tabs on what's going on. Professionally, I made a lot of phenomenal contacts. It was a blast meeting all those people, and in a year from now, I'm just a junior, in a year from now when I'm looking for a job, it's going to be great to call on them for references, and maybe they'll have a job opening. And I got exactly the future experience if I work on the Hill. I did exactly what a lower level, like an LC or a staff assistant would do. I did exactly their job. Again, phenomenal contacts. I'm very, very excited about this. I would not have had these contacts without the Cornell Fellows Program, and I'm very thankful that I had this opportunity. It gave me a huge advantage against others in the job search in the future. So I've done it. I've been there. I've got that experience. And it helped me more clearly understand what I'd like to do post-grad. Whether it be apply for jobs in the Hill or apply for grad school, I know where I want to go. And it pushed me to work harder than I ever really thought I could. I didn't know that I could. I wasn't sure how many projects and how many things I could juggle at once and just push through it. But it really taught me my limits, and I really appreciated that. So many thanks in honor of Earl Baker, class of 1908, who made this all possible for me. I really appreciate that. My site supervisor, Emily Smith, and not mention all the LAs, LCs, and the chief of staff that I worked with, and Senator Grassley himself. It's a wonderful opportunity. My faculty sponsor, Rob Sutherland. Thank you so much.